This week on the Late Night Gamer podcast, I've played Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Is it the next big fighting game, or is it going to get lost in the pack? Stephen also discusses his first few hours on Split Fiction, and me and Andy have been playing some Dispatch. Let's discuss all this and more on the Late Night Gamer podcast. Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Welchy, and joining me tonight, as always, is Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello guys. Yeah, this feels a bit weird because this is like the first episode we're recording since I became the gaming quiz champion. So yeah, it feels good. Feels good.
How long are you going to be rubbing that one in? And also joined by our resident horror expert, Stephen.
Yes, everybody, it's lovely to be back as always, and I can't wait to get into Split Fiction and talk about Battlefield 6. It's been a great time. I've literally been gaming so much at the moment, so like I've not had anything to talk about on the movie side because all my time at the moment is getting through my last few games before we get to the end of the year. So yeah, it's a great time at the moment. Loving it.
Yeah, similar here. It's been a very heavy gaming week for me. Got lots to talk about, and Andy has too. Would normally do a little game here, but we just did a full-on quiz show, so we're not going to do another game now. I've used all my material up for the year, I think, especially on the gaming side. So we're going to go straight into it today. And obviously, the title of the podcast is focused around Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, because that's been out this weekend. There's a beta, closed beta this weekend. I got an invite. Stephen, you got an invite, but didn't get to play it.
I did, yeah. It came through, and I was like, "Why have I got an invite?" And then I remember that I registered interest when we spoke about it before, but like I said, I enjoying the two games that I'm playing so much at the moment that I thought I want to focus on those. But if I had free time, I would have probably played it.
And Andy, obviously, you was away anyway, but did you get an invite?
I'm not sure to be honest because I didn't check because my email link to my PlayStation is a different email, so I didn't actually check to see if I got an invite. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have played it anyway.
Yeah, you was away. Yeah.
Time-wise, yeah.
Cool. So I played it. I played about 2 hours on the game. I actually stupidly went to play yesterday or this morning, and I was half an hour after the closing time. I was like, shit. So didn't get to play anymore, but I did play 2 hours, and I wanted to give my thoughts because obviously this is a game that isn't out yet. Will come out hopefully in 2026, and it'll give some people an idea of whether they might want to jump in or not. So my initial impressions were this game is a lot in terms of there's a lot going on. The tutorial takes quite a while to get through. I'd say at least half an hour of my time. I'd have to go back and check my streams. I did stream this on Twitch. A good chunk of time was spent on the tutorial, and there's lots of different things to know. Obviously, this is a tag team game, so you have 4v4 essentially. You have your number one character, whoever you want it to be, and then 3 backup, and they're all on different buttons if you want them to come in and just help for just one attack. But there is also a way for them to come in and take over fully and like be the number one character in the fight as well. And that is barely scratching the surface. There are so many ways for these characters to get involved, so many different moves you can do to get them in. One thing I will say is it was probably a bit too much for me in that short time. I think it's a game where if you spend a lot of time on it and get it down, it'll be extremely satisfying. Pulling off different moves and combos and whatnot. But in a short space of time, it felt like a lot, especially in just the 2 hours I had. But it felt super fun. And when you pull off certain moves and got all the characters coming in, it's very satisfying. So I think in the tutorial, you play as Captain America. And then you get Storm on your team. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I jumped to your stream, I saw you using Storm, she flew in and done an attack. But
then Miss Marvel and maybe Ghost Rider, I think, were the 4. But in the beta, you also had Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and someone else. Iron Man, maybe? I can't remember. But a surprising amount of characters, and obviously, like Marvel Rivals, the opportunity is endless. I feel like this would be a fun game to have Deadpool in. Any game would be fun with Deadpool, but Deadpool would suit this game very well. The key difference here to any Marvel game I've ever played is the voiceover. It's all Japanese. It's all Japanese voiceover.
Oh, wow.
And it is such a nice change of pace. obviously we've all heard these
Okay.
characters in different shows, movies, games. You get used to their quips, you get used to their different things, how they say things. But hearing Star Lord in a Japanese voice is so cool. Like it's so cool. He's still got it's obviously subtitles. He's still saying the things he would say, but just hearing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
in that Japanese voice, like imagine like an anime show or a Tekken fight, that kind of thing, is very cool. Very cool. And Spider-Man doing his quips in different languages. It's refreshing. Obviously, I don't know what he's saying. I have to read it, and during a fight, I'm like, I can't
You
look at
can't
that.
read that. Yeah.
Can't
But
read
it's
that and
just
fight at the same
there's
time.
something
No.
about that voiceover which is just very satisfying to listen to in this fighting game. And I think
Will that last though, or is that just because you only played it a few hours?
I don't know. It's a good point, but I think sometimes in Marvel Rivals, when they're saying the same quip over and over and over and over again, it can get a bit annoying.
Yeah, but then they'll be doing the same on this, but in Japanese. So will obviously I know you still won't understand it, and you might be
Yeah,
thinking the same different things each time. But will you then pick up on that same saying if they
yeah,
keep saying the same stuff? But
true. I know, I get that, but I think because I don't understand it, it will take longer to get annoying. I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah,
But
Mm.
either way, I just found it cool, and maybe you're right. Maybe it will rub off and eventually get annoying. But the art style is also fantastic. The visuals are great. The design of the characters are amazing. Obviously, or at the moment, you can pick two different colors for most of the characters. I imagine that would obviously increase. Maybe there'll be some paid stuff you can buy, different skins, blah blah blah.
yeah.
Still not sure if this game's going to be a free to play or a paid game. Don't know if that's been said. I don't know where this is going to fit best. I would personally happily pay for it and then have free DLC, free characters added.
Yeah.
But Marvel Rivals is a free game and there's free characters. They just have the battle pass system and stuff. There was no battle pass
Yeah.
in the beta. This is purely a test on basically the internet connection, I guess, and just the gameplay itself. Obviously, being beta is only online. Once you've done the tutorial, it's just online matches you can do. And my first 2 or 3, I got stuffed. Like, royally stuffed to the point where I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to pick this up because unless there's like a really good story thing here or like a single player mode and maybe good to play against you two and other friends, but I don't want to get smashed like this every time. And it felt insanely difficult.
And this
Yeah.
can this game be 4-player co-op then? So obviously you said you got 4
I
players
don't
on your
think so.
team. Okay.
I don't think so.
I think that would have been
because,
pretty cool if they'd done it that way.
Yeah, maybe.
If they so
But
if
you'd have
on
to
like
wait
their
to be
online
called in, you
modes they
mean?
had yeah, but if we're playing together, I feel like there could be a lot of sort of cool strategies where I could jump in or you could jump in. So they'd have like tag team 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 4
Yeah.
versus 4. You choose which one you want to play, and then you can call in. You tag in and call in and stuff.
I don't think so. The way it works at the minute is very much you call them in when you want them in. Maybe that's
Yeah.
something they
Yeah.
introduced, but it feels very much like a 1v1 fighting game at the minute.
Okay.
So the online area, before I go into my other fights, is like a hub. So you go in as like a mini avatar. So obviously in the fighting place, you've got proper character designs, but then imagine like literally a little avatar version, like a baby, almost like a baby Spider-Man or a baby Captain America walking around this, basically an arcade. And you go up to an arcade machine, like a fighting, like an old school Tekken machine,
Oh, that's cool.
back to back. So you're on one, then someone will come and be on the other one, and that means you're about to fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So that's really cool. I think Street Fighter 6 might have already done this, but obviously they're copying that. It's just really cool walking around, seeing all these little avatars. And you don't have to do that. You can just click on the menu and look for someone who's looking for a game, and it will like transport you to that
Yeah.
place where you need to be. So at that point, I was thinking, it's got great style. I'm loving the look of the game, loving how it feels, but I'm just shit. And then something weird happened. I went on probably one of the best winning streaks I've ever had in any fighting game. Like I couldn't
Oh, wow.
lose. I just couldn't lose.
They probably started matching up against bots after your losing streak.
I thought of that, but I don't think so. I couldn't stop losing. I just figured it out. Something in my brain, it just clicked. So at the beginning of a match, I was doing like I would on Street Fighter. On Street Fighter, I don't know why I do this. I'm Mortal Kombat. I kind of jump up and go for a kick. Don't know why I do that. It's just something I always do. And it wasn't working because I was getting fucked up that way. And it felt like in this game, once you're hit, it's quite hard to stop getting hit.
Block it. Yeah.
So instead, I just noticed that people were just hitting me straight away. So I was just pressing square as soon as the time went, and able to get a combo straight away. And that started working, and I was winning, like genuinely an unbelievable win streak. I'd love to. I'm on Twitch. You can see it. I'm not lying. And then I come up against someone who threatened that streak. He was pretty good, and what he was doing, which I wasn't doing, was countering my moves. So in the tutorial, they show you how to counter. But I hate playing fighting games defensively. I like to just be like attack, 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 like almost button mashing.
Attack is the best form of defense.
Not in this case, because this guy was about to beat me. I think he might have been like 1-0 up or 2-1 up, whatever. And then I started countering him. And then I was like, oh, okay, I've got this guy where I want him. And I ended up winning. Then I was like, shit, I can't explain it, but there's not many times in a fighting game where I feel like I'm learning on the go. Like on Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, like Street Fighter sometimes with Ryu or whoever, I'll spam the Hadouken move, and I know the special moves and I just do them as much as I can. I'm not very good at combos and stuff. Whereas this one, I felt myself learning in a match, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If someone in Street Fighter does a massive combo against me, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you just did. But in this one, I could kind of figure it out. I don't know why. I don't know what it was about it, but I improved in the hour and a half of online matches I had. And I don't think I lost. I don't know. I logged off eventually and played something else. But I'm now feeling that I really want to play this game again. I cannot wait for this to come out, because maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the first fighting game that I actually get good at and go pro. I'm not really going to go pro. But I left thinking, you know what? That was very good. A very good experience.
When's it coming out?
I don't know. What I will say is what I played felt pretty finished. Obviously, it didn't mean
it's got 2026 launch, though, hasn't it?
I think it's got the 26 window. They need more characters. What they've got isn't enough right now, but that's obvious. And I'm hoping for some single player modes, so we'll see what that is. If it's just multiplayer, I think they'll be free to play, because I don't think there'll be enough.
That makes sense.
But we'll see.
If it was
they
free to
make
play,
enough money from skins on these games anyway, don't they? And the battle passes.
Yeah, but pay battle pass will probably be the way to go if it's free to play, which people will be invested in for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as I'm aware, this is the PlayStation only title. If they're clever, they'd also do PC, because it's multiplayer. But it does, being PlayStation only, does shorten the audience a bit. So they'll still make money, and I think them looking at Marvel Rivals and how successful that has been, being free to play, it's different. Fighting games are much more niche.
Yeah, definitely.
Than an Overwatch type Marvel game. But I think it can be done. I think they can go to free to play route. I think that might be the smarter route.
I think if they go down the free to play route, they attract more people in as well, because obviously we haven't had a fighting game that's been like Marvel, obviously the Invincible one coming out, so I haven't been interested anyway.
Well, not since we had Marvel vs. Capcom years ago.
Yeah, but more recently, so I haven't been into fighting games. If this came out and it was free to play, I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
If it comes out and it's a paid for game and you've got Invincible coming out a similar time, I'm gonna choose Invincible just because there's so much Marvel stuff already, I feel. So obviously, if they're completely different, like you're saying, if they've got teams of 4 and it's like a completely different sort of strategy to how you play the game, then I might think about getting both, especially if I buy Invincible and like Invincible, and I'll be like, okay, I'm getting into fighting games a bit more now. But it'll be interesting to see if they do like a closed beta or a beta session now that Marvel have done their ones, just to sort of hype their game up too.
I'm sure Invincible will do something like that. But yeah, it does feel like those two are going to be going at it next year, if they both launch next year, which they should. If they're going to be paid, I think it has to be cheaper. And not just because I'm not saying the quality is there to be a full price game, but I mean to attract people.
Yeah.
We've seen this year how many good games have come out at a cheaper price and done extremely well because of that. I think they'd be pretty clever to come in around the £30 mark would be where I would put it. I think that's cheap enough to attract enough people.
Yeah,
I think even
I'd say the same.
£40, I think as well
Yeah.
would be
But
that sort of number.
the problem that Mortal Kombat 1 was a full price £70 game, and then they add
Yeah,
in all the extra characters they make you buy, and it's like people start to
yeah,
get a bit
you're
like,
not,
come on, man, like
Mm.
this game ends up
yeah,
being 200 quid.
Doesn't though
yeah,
Mortal Kombat 1 have a story mode though as well?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it does, and it's a pretty good story mode actually. So this would
You're,
have to have a story mode to warrant that.
to go up to the premium tier of
Yeah,
what you'd pay for it.
but I've thoroughly enjoyed it to the point where I was annoyed when I turned up half an hour early to this morning. But hopefully it won't be out in the too distant future. Obviously with GTA moving, it can come out whenever it wants now. But
true.
do you want to move on to some other games? Stephen, super excited to hear what you have to say about Split Fiction, because obviously me and Andy played it, reviewed it earlier in the year. Andy gave it a 10. I gave it a 9.5. Obviously, you're not completed it, so I'm not expecting a review. But what are you thinking so far in your experience? How long have you played?
So we've done well. It says 6 hours, but obviously you pause it to go and get a drink.
Yeah.
So I can never really trust that number. But we're over halfway in the game. We're kind of at the midpoint of chapter 4. There's 8 chapters, so we're
God, only
we're about
8. It feels like more
50% of the way
than
through.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, Andy, you gave it a 10. What a pile of shit. No, obviously not. I have to say, so going into this game, I was excited. So I didn't actually listen to your review. I made it clear that I wanted to play
Wasn't
it
you
first.
on
And
it?
once I played, not your Split Fiction review, I don't think, because I
I
didn't want
thought
it
you
to be
was, but maybe
spoiled.
not.
And I made a case of once I've then completed it, I'll go back and listen to that. But I've also not seen anything. I've made it absolutely clear that I didn't see anything lucky on TikTok. I didn't go on YouTube. I
Did you
wanted
not
to go
see our
into Split
TikToks?
Fiction. To be fair, I
You might
might
have,
have,
but you
but
forgot
I
about them. Yeah.
forgotten. I wanted to go into my Split Fiction experience with knowing
Yeah.
as little as possible to be surprised. So I have to say, I will get into detail points, but what an unbelievable game this is. Absolutely unbelievable. When I say that I am loving it, that is me understated how much I love this game. I don't think it's going to quite go to the very top when we kind of think about game of the year, but already, even without completing the game, I know full well.
Just
and
wait.
It
Like, you
gets so
need to
much
wait
better.
before you make those questions, because each chapter gets better and better with mechanics.
It,
Like, we've said that so much.
it
So just
absolutely
wait.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could have a late surge, but what I have played so far has been nothing short of incredible. I mean, I will say that I said this to James, who I'm playing with at the moment, that what a year EA are having. And I never thought I'd say that. Like, because this is EA, Split Fiction, Battlefield 6 and EAFC 26, which has gone down really well. Like, they are.
I'm not sure I'd give EA too much credit for Split Fiction.
No, but they still published the game. So I know you can't give them massive credit, but it's still like part of their.
I think we mentioned it mentioned it, Welchy, in our episode that we done, that the good thing about EA with Hayes like Studios is that they let who's in charge do whatever they want with it. They basically they don't let EA touch it.
I just think for those 3 games in question, they've had awful years, EA. So I actually think that they will be coming to the end of 2025 and think, you know what, guys, we're actually on the way up with all the other stuff that they're doing. So from the very beginning, and I found this quite funny. So we were in the elevator with the 2 characters, and I said to Jane, I said, I want to be Zoe because I'm an extrovert and he's an introvert. So that's why he chose Mia. So we already decided what our characters wanted to be. And when you then get that character selection, it literally comes up with the personalities and the characteristics. And we had already said that. It's like, well, I'm the introvert, you're the extrovert. So I know who I'm picking. I know who you're picking. I just found it quite funny that we had already decided that before we got that prompt. So he, as I said, is Mio and I'm Zoe. I, weirdly enough, agree with me about fantasy being so overrated. But technically, she mugs me off in the elevator, so I kind of got mugged off by myself because I picked. So my character's fantasy and Mio is sci-fi, which I know I don't particularly like fantasy, but I like the character in a way. So I know, I think we said it on one of our off when we stopped recording, because Andy, you were Zoe, so you were the character that I'm playing in your run
Yeah.
through, and you were Mio. Yeah.
I can't
Which
remember how
obviously,
we chose though, Welchy. Did we
I
just pick
I think I
randomly,
said I
or,
like
or
sci-fi.
you? Yeah.
I think what's quite good though is that you can change. So
Yes.
like, which
Yeah.
I thought once you pick it, you're locked in. I mean, we're not going to change it round, but I imagine that if you start playing as one, you're like, oh, I don't like that character, that mechanic. It's good that they give you the option to change it round, which is great. The upside down sequence in the hotel where your character changes is like absolutely jaw dropping. There's so many jaw dropping moments. That's like very early on. I think that might be like chapter 1 or 2.
Right.
I don't know if you remember it, but it was like the first set piece where I love how kind of it goes to sort of, you know, one screen, then it goes into split screen, and like it was, I didn't think stupidly, even though it's called split fiction, that it literally is split screen right the way down the middle.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be on one screen and we just follow each other. So like that whole sequence when you're with all the flying cars and stuff like that, like it was just incredible, like absolutely incredible. They've utilized like the dual sense, which just feels incredible. Graphically, it looks stunning. And I am so just invested. Like from very early on, we got like our first half an hour, and I said to us like, yeah, this is great. This is absolutely great. And every chapter, you hit the nail on the head there, is getting better and better and better. There's one point, so there's a motorbike chase, and you've got to stop basically a bomb going off. And they gave me the awful,
They gave Andy that, yeah.
awful bit where I had to select the bloody, like, choose pictures of a motorcycle. Yeah, and I was like, why are you doing that? That's as bad as like the wobbly letter test where you're on a website and they say, what word does this look like to you? And you're like, F, W. Then there was one bit where it says about sort of, I think it's drafts. And I was like, such fucking drafts there. But I think the game deliberately does that.
No, you can actually solve that. There's I think it's a trophy, or you can actually get past that part. You can actually do all those things and stop it.
Oh, I could not.
It's almost impossible.
It's
but
tough.
Yeah.
I
did straight away.
Yeah.
Stephen, have you?
What, did you do it?
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
But I saw a clip. You can do it.
Stephen, have you been doing the side missions? So there's like parts of the game. Okay. Have you done?
Yeah.
Have you played as a pig yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that not the funniest thing ever?
It was, because it's a spoiler for anyone that hasn't played Split Fiction, because I do think you have to go into that side mission and know absolutely nothing. So I will say massive spoiler now. But and it's funny because Chloe texted me when I told her that I was playing Split Fiction. She's like, no, I really want to play it with you. I'm thinking, was I like asleep when you said that? She's seen obviously the bit on TikTok with the pig.
We put that on TikTok as well.
Yeah. I did say in the nicest possible way to her, I was like, I feel like the game's going to be quite tough because like, you know, so like me and Live Jay's, like there have been moments where we've got stuck. We've had to really kind of work out. I'll get to that in a moment, because chapter 3, the first 2 chapters we breezed through, but chapter 3, the fairy, when you're the fairy and the monkey, we found quite challenging in moments. So I'm really curious to see if you guys had the same.
There was a bit where
struggles.
I think I kept fucking up Andy with the monkey. I kept swinging too soon or something, or too late, and whatever it was, and you had to keep changing where the grass was or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, there's certain parts that I remember.
Yeah.
I think like overall though we went pretty well as a team with sort of solving puzzles.
And what I would say is that both like me and James are also working really well, but I think for both of us, this isn't a game that I've ever played before. Like I haven't done It Takes Two, and obviously I have done puzzles before, but I've always come out and said that puzzles frustrate me. So it's not like my forte, so to speak. And I think Jay's kind of in the same bracket as well, where both of us, like, we know that there's probably people that could do it in like 10 seconds, and we have to really kind of sit there and think about, work out what to do. I actually think that that's a positive for the game, because I think the game kind of, we're trying stuff. So like we're dying thinking we've got to do X and Y, and you don't. But I think that's kind of the joy of the game, to kind of just, right, we're going to try this. Is it going to work? No. Okay, let's work at this bit and that bit. So, and I think the game kind of wants you to play it in that sort of way.
There's also so many moments where it can be funny and entertaining where you purposely fuck at your teammate. So I think there's one, I can't remember which chapter it was. I think it's near the start, but there's like a toilet cubicle thing. And I think you was inside it, Welchy, and was trying to figure out how to get to the other side. and I just launched the toilet off the map and killed Welchy. And then a bit again, I don't know if it was the monkey and the fairy bit, but there's a bit where you can like control the grass or like
Yes.
tree trunks or something.
Yes, yeah,
And or like they've got spikes that you can control.
yes. It's like over a massive waterfall and
Yes,
you have to
yes.
kind of time it.
And Welch he'll be about to jump and go onto the safe part that I've moved down, and I put them up just as he jumps, just to kill him on purpose. So it's things like that make it funny as well.
So yeah, we haven't done anything like that at the moment. But going back to the pig side mission, I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. Sort of getting sort of the apples was fine, but it's when you realise that you then have fucking cooked as bacon and then become a hot dog, and it's like, what the actual fuck is this? I was like, this is hilarious, because literally at the start of the mission, I said to you, I was like, oh, I really want bacon now. That pig looks tasty. Not realising at the end, it's like the game hears you say that. You're like, oh shit. And we also had a bit where, because we thought about it being a trophy, so we put like the mustard and ketchup on, and it didn't do anything.
Yes.
And then we both were like, oh shit, we got to cook ourselves first, and then put the mustard and ketchup on. So like, whoever sat there and thought of that, it's so stupid, but yet is like just so joyous.
There's
I've
more.
never had anything
There's more
more
like
joyous.
that. There's never one which I remember being hilariously funny.
The other one I really liked was the game show side mission where you're the bombs and you've got to keep throwing the bomb
Oh, you've
to
done
each
that
other.
one already? Fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's like the hot potato one.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a hard one.
That was
I think
challenging.
there's a trophy to do that first time, isn't there?
Without
Welchy?
fail,
Or there's
I
like a
Yeah, you got to do it without
ridiculous
fail.
trophy for that one. It was like, we're not getting that trophy.
Yeah, we did not get. So I thought you guys went for the platinum for it, but
We
obviously you
mentioned
didn't.
maybe going. We never have.
Oh, okay. Because that will be a hard platinum though. That will be like to do that bomb sequence.
Some of those
in
things
one
would
go.
take a lot of practice.
Yeah, because also the part of it is that, again, it's similar to sort of things like in Astrobot, where by dying you learn more and more.
Yeah.
So like on that bomb sequence, there were moments where both of us were like, Jesus Christ, it's just getting harder and harder and harder. But the more you do it, just we were like, oh, okay, right, to me, to you, to me. And I kept laughing because sometimes I might press the wrong button in panic, and I'd go, no, and just explode.
Have you
into a million
come across the
pieces.
one with the giants? I don't think you would have. There's most of these side missions are very well placed and you can see them and it's obvious. There's one which is hidden, and we had to go back. And do it at the end of the game. And I'm sure you missed it.
There is one, because we've done every side mission apart from one in chapter 2.
Yeah, you've missed it.
And I feel like
is that the one where you jump across on the cars? Because I think that's the chapter. Because
the game, like Zoe and Mia keep mentioning, oh, there's a side story here, so that always prompts us because we're trying to do all of them, but that's the only one that we've missed.
Yeah,
so I have no idea.
It's a very strange decision to make them all very visible. Apart from one,
and they don't even mention it.
So all the other ones come up.
We found all the others without any problem.
It's just, and a question that I've got: so do you have to play the whole chapter again to go back? Because I know on the menu it's got like
go back to like the closest chapter. And I think that one is that one is. Yeah.
Okay. So you got you've done the sub chapters. Yeah. That's what we were trying to work out. Click on that one and then find it. Right. Okay. That's fine.
It's literally on that part where I was saying that I threw Welchy across in the toilet cubicle.
Yeah.
You know where that is. You literally turn around and you jump up the wall and it's like up that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did get a bit stuck on chapter 3. So we looked online and you could do chapter 3 in an hour and 42 minutes. And we spent longer than an hour and 42 minutes on chapter 3 with the fairy and the gorilla, because like I said, the first 2 chapters pretty easy, a couple of deaths, but nothing terrible. But chapter 3 started to incorporate some really challenging puzzles. The main one that I want to ask is, so it's in Hopes of Spring in the Lord Evergreen part, where you've got the tree and you've got the egg and the chicks. And essentially, you've got to sort of hit the tree, and then you've got to jump up, and then the egg has got to then fly to then open up this area, right?
That took us a little while, but not. I don't know how long it took you.
But did you guys work out? So for about half an hour, we were well stuck on that. We tried everything. Yeah. We tried literally moving the chicks, moving the egg, and I kept saying, I was like, right, what are we missing here? We tried every little bit, because all I could do is the tree. I'm very restricted. I can either go left or right. Mm-hmm. And I could see that we've got to kind of hit the branch into the cave, essentially. But it wasn't working, all the different variables. until we then realised that as the griller, you've got to hit down on the seesaw to
Yeah.
then get the egg to launch up. But like it didn't come to us. Like
Yeah.
we got well stuck on that. Like we were really, we kept trying every different eventuality. I think what we're trying to do at times is we are overcomplicating it.
Hmm.
So we're thinking it's more complicated. So there was another sequence in chapter 4 where where were we in chapter 4? Because we've literally just done it tonight. So it's the one where you're like the futuristic with the guns and you're shooting like, so I have to shoot the blue targets, James has to shoot the red ones, you go through the portals, that kind of sequence. And we went all the way like round, so you're shooting blue, then you're shooting red, and you're wall running, and then you go into this area where you move. And we then thought you had to, like, if you go back round a second time, there's like something hidden. There's not. Literally nothing. Because the game kept throwing us off the wall. We were like, hang on a minute, this is not working. The other one, there's a sequence where you've got to hit these targets in time with each other. There's like this little yellow bulb. If you hit that both at the same time, all three turn on systematically and the door opens. But we thought you had to kind of hit one, then hit the other. So we kept doing it for like 10, 15 minutes. And we're like, this is not working. If we hit it in the middle, it might work. Okay, that's not working. And then we realized, oh, you've just got to shoot the yellow bulb at the same time and it opens. And we're like, we are overcomplicating this game. Like we think that it's harder than what it actually is. I don't know if you guys did that either, where you might have had moments where
I think,
or was it just
I don't know, I'm used to these kind of games, and I think I felt like we had a good rhythm, but maybe I'm forgetting it.
Yeah.
Maybe it probably was harder than before, but
I think both of us are quite, although I'm not like a puzzle game person, I feel like we're both pretty good at puzzles. So I feel like a lot of them we solved pretty quickly. But we was also streaming, so potentially there might be parts where we got
that's what we
in the chat. But
people suggestions.
Welchy loves Portal, like that's a puzzle game. There's like so many puzzle games that I feel like we've just got maybe a lot more experience in those areas.
I really think that I need to invest maybe next year in puzzle game, even though they just wind me up. The other one that was absolutely bullshit was also in chapter 3, that the faces where you had to push it down. So you had like a door and it had like a yellow mask, blue mask, red mask, right? And then you had to kind of, the way that, because it didn't tell you anything about that. I don't know if you remember that one in chapter 3. No. So you have to kind of push it down, and then like the yellow mask has to go in the square, then the red one has to go in the square, and you've got to do it in a like specific order for the doors then to open. And we were both like, what the fuck have you got to do? In the end, we get it, but it just, we're sitting there thinking, because sometimes the characters, this is not criticism, but the only thing is sometimes the characters will say something like that one where we were shooting the targets. It said we need to do this in rhythms. We're both like, oh, okay, we've got to do it exactly the same time. But there'll be other puzzles where they say nothing, and you're like the one with the tree and the egg. It would have been great if like Zoe said, hit on the seesaw, because we would have then been like, oh, that means you can then go high with the egg, and then the tree can hit the egg like
maybe they just think those like parts are easy enough for you to figure out by yourself, but they don't chuck it at him.
There's also, they can't win because there are some people that moan about that. So in God of War, Atreus will often give hints as to what to do, or Mimir will, and people are like, oh my god, they don't let you solve it yourself, and it's like, they didn't solve it, they just hinted, and people get wound up by that because they want to solve it.
There should be maybe an option to turn it on.
That's what I was about to say. At the start of the game, if it had said like hints, would you like hints on and off? We probably would have turned it on, just because again, it's something which, I mean, I'm not going to speak to James. It might just be that those puzzles in particular are challenging. But certainly for myself, if I ever have a game where I always turn hints on, just because even outside of gaming, me and puzzles have never really seen eye to eye. I don't have the patience to kind of sit there. And
I feel like
it annoys me.
An experience playing this game with like someone else. So like if you played it with me, Stephen, there's like so many things that I see like straight away. It's just like common sense, and I'm like, it's so obvious what you need to do like straight away. I just have that like instinct for certain things.
When I say though that like it's like a very, very minor, because some of the games that I've given high scores for, like I charted for would be a 10, but my only gripe is the puzzles. But I know that's on me. Same with like Ghost of Yo 8. So I'm not marking it down in any shape or form, to be absolutely clear. That is just it's going to probably take us a little bit longer in those aspects. But again, the whole point of the game is to learn, and it's a very different co-op experience, because I would actually, for myself, I don't particularly like co-op campaign. Like, I'm quite selfish. Like, my campaigns are, for me, my immersive experience where I don't have to think about anything and I'm just lost in the story. Although I'm loving playing it with somebody else, and that's literally the game. I know that it isn't something I normally do. So for me to enjoy it as much as I am just shows how amazing the game is. Kind of now want to try out It Takes Two.
Yeah,
I want
me
to
too.
give that a go at some point, if it's on par with what Split Fixtures. The other thing as well, right? And this is more like of a personal thing. I keep the stories really interesting, and like with Mia, because like she keeps hitting her dad, and I said, I bet you, right, that there is something where like the dad's really sick and she's having to pay for the medical bills and to go on to this to get her stories published. That's what she's going to use money for. It was kind of running in my head. And then in chapter 4, we find out a bit more. And I'm like, I said to her, I was like, what is it with every single game at the moment or a TV show that's got that? Like, it's weird in the sense where when that hasn't personally affected you, you probably wouldn't bat two eyelids. But when you do have that personal connection, it kind of feels like it's following you everywhere. But I like that. I like that there's a personal touch. There's a reason. And I'm curious to see, because I think there's bits of Zoe that, like, she keeps playing with her sister, and I'm like, is there something more deep there? Plus, I love the power of wordplay. I wanted to be a writer when I was younger, and it's still something where if I wasn't gaming or watching movies as much, one of the pastimes would be taking up writing. So I just love the whole concept of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's just a genius concept. It's been executed great. Every chapter's getting a bit more challenging, but equally every chapter's getting better. I love the side missions. I think they are brilliant. So I want to play it like so much more. The only frustration is that because me and James are quite busy, it's creating time together to be able to come and do it. But we're halfway through and we've only played 3 sessions, so we've done, I think, a really good amount in a short space of time. In a weird way, I don't want it to end, but at the same time, I do want it to end because I want to make sure that it's wrapped up before Game of the Year, which I think it will be, to be honest. But so far, apart from that little thing, which is more of a me problem than the game problem, it's like Ghost Recon. There's nothing I can criticize it about. It is absolutely faultless, and I think it's just going to get even better.
I can't wait for you to play last level.
Yeah, I can't wait
like
for you to
that
finish
last
it.
mission is different heights, man.
Yeah. Cool. We look forward to getting your full review in a week or two's time. Hopefully before Christmas, because we're going to have like a week off after Christmas. But either way, we'll get your thoughts at some point. Andy, before I go into my other game, let's quickly talk about Dispatch. I think I'll be able to complete it by next week. Do you think you better complete it by next week?
Yeah, I'm going to try and if you're going to do it for the next podcast episode, I'll complete it for then as well. Then I was going to try and keep up with you chapter to chapter.
Yeah,
just so I didn't go ahead.
I should be able to do it by next week. Next week's podcast. So we'll just give our brief initial thoughts. I'll say that just to keep the positive vibes going, this game's amazing. This game is absolutely brilliant.
I feel like this will be a game that I would also love because I love the Telltale game. So
it's got that vibe of like the Telltale games, a little bit less so because in the Telltale games you're walking around and interacting with the world. This is very much essentially a movie, and you're making decisions in terms of dialogue more and actions. I guess there's an.
You even have the choice to turn it off, don't you, at the start? Because you have the options between cinematic. You can
turn off QuickTime events, yes, not the dialogue choices. But there's some QuickTime events. So like at the beginning of the game, there's a fight scene, and
I left it on.
Yeah, I left it on. It's a game. I want to play the game.
That's what the just to interject there. That's what the Quarry did.
Yes,
it gave you the option of cinematic and then to turn on and off QuickTime
events. The Quarry actually gave you the whole, even dialogue choices. It would say, "We're just going to do it for you." Like, there's not even an option on the Quarry. You just do the whole thing as just a movie, which is cool.
Yeah, you just literally sit there and watch it.
But the difference with this game, obviously, it's like a movie with dialogue choices, but there is a gameplay element to it, which is really interesting. So obviously the game is called Dispatch. You essentially play as a guy who is a dispatch person for a team of superheroes. Yeah. So I've not watched The Boys, but I think it's a bit more like The Boys world where like there's companies that superheroes work for, and the dispatcher, or you, or Aaron Paul is the voice actor.
Oh wow.
Is the dispatcher, and people call in saying, "Oh, my cat's stuck in a tree," and you'll send the superheroes to go and solve that issue. Obviously, there's more pressing issues, like there's a fire here, or there's a bar fight here, whatever, blah blah blah, a robbery, whatever, and you just got to send the right hero for the right job, and it's kind of like puzzly, because some missions require two people. You don't see the job get solved; you just send them there,
Yeah.
and it's one of those like simulator games or whatever, like Tropico, whatever it's called, where things happen, they come back, and it's done. It sounds very simple. It is so satisfying to play. Like, I don't know what
It
you
is.
think, Andy, but it's
Yeah,
that
no,
kind
I'm
of
definitely
management
saying that, dude.
sim is really
Mm.
cool. And I thought, when I heard about it, I was like, I love the idea of this interactive game, story, superheroes. I don't know about the whole dispatching side, but I love it. Like, I genuinely love the dispatching side of it.
Yeah, I think it's because it's got strategy to it as well, in terms of
Yeah,
obviously your characters have different skills. So like one's
quick.
combat, one's mobility, and depending on what the job is that they are doing will depend on which hero you choose for it. So if it's like, I don't know, chasing someone, you want to choose a
quickness.
superhero that's got higher mobility. If it's like, for example, there's one where there's a fighting tournament or there's a fight that breaks out, and so you'd choose two or one superhero that has better combat levels. So there is that element of strategy to it, so I have to make sure you're using the right ones, to then level up your superheroes and your roster, as they say.
Yeah, it's super fun. Obviously, they also have a hacking mini game as well, which again is fun. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's all those small elements that they've put into this game that make it fun. So it's not just like it's not just you're watching a movie; you're actually getting involved and interacting with certain things.
Yeah,
Even the bits where, like at the start, where you're in that fight with Toxic,
yeah,
and it's just coming up, press X on the screen. But there's a part where it's like really casual, and you have like as much time as possible to press the buttons, and then all of a sudden it'll throw quick three buttons at you, the way you have to quickly press them. Yeah, so it takes it from sort of slow, nice pace to then all of a sudden you're in this intense moment where you need to be more quick with your reactions.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll say that the story so far I'm interested in. I don't think it's like the main story is really got anywhere yet. I feel like there's going to be like a big twist soon, or something's going to happen. It's going to get there. I have no doubts about that. But at the moment, I'm just more interested in all the different characters and their quirks and their stories. The writing in this game is absolutely phenomenal. I've laughed out loud multiple times.
I didn't realize how like adult this game was going to be. So I knew in terms of like it being brutal in terms of combat, maybe like what you see on the screen might be like Invincible, the boys and stuff. But I didn't realize how sort of mature the writing was going to be. Like one of the first thing that gets said is like when he's throwing Toxic out the window or whatever, he's like, "Oh, I've landed on your cum-stained mattress" or something. I was like, "Oh, okay, it's that sort of game with."
Oh, you threw him out the window?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I threw him out the window.
Oh, I picked him back up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
That's like a Wolf of Wall Street moment of like, oh, okay, this is
Yeah.
the kind of film, and same place with the
It's-
And there's
game.
just so many comments like that throughout the game where it's just you're like Welchy said, you're laughing out loud at all these.
I can't remember
all
the
these
guy's
bits.
name, but the guy who you meet in the janitor's closet, and he's like your dad's old friend. He's the really fast one, but he's now really
name's
old.
called Chase Trackstar.
Trackster, yeah.
Yeah.
He is unbelievably funny.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
Oh
I wonder
my
who
God.
voice actor. Do you know who the voice actor is for him?
No,
Oh
I'd have to have a
no.
look. But Laura Bailey is in this, Stephen. She plays
Okay.
Please tell me she plays Blonde Blazer.
no, Invisigirl.
Oh, okay. Who plays Blonde Blazer?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up as well. I only know
Okay.
Aaron Paul. I know Alana Pierce, who is someone who's works in the industry. She's had YouTube channels and stuff, and done the kind of funny stuff. Is the demon lady with the sword?
Okay, yeah. I can't remember her name, but I know who you mean. Yeah.
You can. She's Australian, the voice actor, and sometimes you can hear it.
Yeah.
But she's done really well so far. It's just a phenomenal game. I am shocked.
It sounds
how
like
much
my
I'm
kind of
liking
game.
it. I think you'd love it. It's only 8 chapters again. I did 3 chapters in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, they're quite big so far. I
yeah.
don't know if some of them get a bit longer, but
I imagine they're all roughly 45 to 50. So I'm expecting to have this game done in 7, maybe 8 hours.
Yeah, 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah,
It's normally like if it's on the same like the Walking Dead games and like the Wolf Among Us, they're normally between sort of like 6 to 8 hours in
Yeah,
length.
yeah. So super excited to continue playing it. I think the story's got to pick up soon in terms of like the main plot of what's going on. But I'm absolutely loving it, and I can't wait to play more. And for £28 or whatever this game was,
yeah,
oh,
very cheap.
man, I feel like
And
they did themselves dirty by not coming out a few months earlier for Game of the Year. Maybe I'm wrong
oh yeah,
because there's a lot of good games for Game of the Year, but I think there would have been more in more categories, like in
Yeah.
oh yeah,
narrative and stuff.
100%.
Because I don't think this was the narrative, the award for narrative. I can't remember.
It was only. I swear
Debut
this was
indie,
only like one thing, wasn't
debut
it?
indie, yeah.
Yeah, I think I only got one nomination.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I basically agree with everything that you said, and it's interesting because when this game first launched, they didn't release all the episodes at once, did they? So it's like a
No, it's
weekly thing.
2 a week, I think.
So it would have been interesting. At like what I feel like at some point we're going to get a cliffhanger because they would have been like, maybe it's after chapter 4 there might be a cliffhanger because then
Yeah,
you'll have to wait for the next episode when it obviously we don't have to wait,
yeah,
but at that point people playing
Yeah.
it when they're releasing it would have been cool to play it and they'd be like, oh shit, I've got to wait until next week now to wait for the next episode like a TV show.
I
So it's a very cool
I
concept.
I remember when I played the first season of The Walking Dead, and I had it all. I basically did it in one full go, and then I was like, I didn't speak to them because none of my friends at the time played campaigns. But I read like articles online and thinking, oh my god, what? So people played it and then had to wait a month for the next
yeah,
episode,
Yeah,
especially like how some of the episodes end. You're like, what the hell?
yeah,
But equally, that probably will make it even more exciting, as you rightly said. Sort of, you finish it and then you've got to wait, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
cliffhanger aspect. Yeah,
And luckily they made it weekly, so it's much more manageable.
yeah.
But yeah, the voice acting's great. Aaron Paul is fantastic so far. I love him anyway.
yeah. I love his character.
But yeah, we'll probably review it fully next week. I don't think anything's going to stop me from beating it. I'll obviously message you if it changes, Andy, but yeah, I should get it done. One game I have beaten, I don't want to spend too long because we've only got 8 minutes left, is Blueprints.
I'm
I
so excited to hear what you
beat
think
it.
about
I
this.
beat it on. Do you remember, Andy? Tuesday, maybe? One Monday? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date.
I have a very weird relationship with this game, Stephen, because there was a point in this game where I was like, this is fucking amazing. I am loving this game. And there was a
Yeah.
point in this game where I said, I fucking hate this game. Get me off of it. I'm done with this shit. So I was obviously texting Andy throughout because I was like, not getting tips, but saying like, I can't get this thing, or I don't know what I'm doing wrong to not get to this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But so obviously this game, you do runs, which are days, and then it was between day like 9 and 20, I'd say. I was like, this game's phenomenal. Like every day I'm getting progress, I'm learning something, or I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm working towards, and I'm getting it. I thought I knew what I was fucking working towards. And I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Got underground. Underground, I was like, okay, I know this must be, I'm getting close. And I was like, okay, something's blocking me, but that means I know there's a way around this. It's all doable. And there was a point in the game around day 23 where I had all my eggs in a row, right? Like, I know exactly what I have to do the next day to finish the game.
Yeah.
I thought I knew. Everything in a row. Like, I had multiple different ways I could finish it. I was ready. And then I found out, once you get through the bit at the bottom, you open the door back up the top. So then I have to go back out and back up to the top, back to the fucking end. I was like, hang on. I thought this was the end. This just opens the end.
Yeah.
So that fucks me off. But basically, I did this game in a very different way to Andy. I think, Andy, you used the foundation a lot in your run. And
Yeah, the foundation was my
then
main route back down to the basement.
I
Yeah,
never got the foundation route to the basement, ever.
that is crazy.
Yeah, my route was originally through the fountain, which was my way in. And all I needed to do was, all I needed to do was get across the reservoir. But then I realized I couldn't do that whilst having the fountain available. I had to lower the fountain, the reservoir level, but to do that, I had to raise the fountain up, so I couldn't do that. But because I managed to do something else, I managed to get another puzzle that Andy never got to, a chess puzzle. And by doing a chess puzzle, I unlocked what is basically options. I don't know if you've even seen this, Andy, online. Basically, different chess pieces come up in this massive wall, and each one is a different
Yeah.
option. I cannot tell you what those other options were, but one of the options, which I think was the knight piece, said you can add the armory to your options for rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew, because I had to Google this because I was fucked at this point, that in the armory, I knew what I could get in the armory, and one of them was a torch. And that
Okay.
torch meant I could light candles around the place, which Andy probably never did in this game.
Yeah, I've never done that. Yeah.
Andy, did you know there's a secret in the chapel?
A secret? No.
Yeah, the chapel. There's two candles you can light, and then it raises something,
Oh,
um,
okay, that's pretty cool.
and it gives you 40 coins, I think, something like that. But
Oh,
you can
okay.
only ever
That's
do
where
it
all my
once, and
coins
once
went
you've
then.
done it, it's gone forever. And I fucked it on a
Yeah.
run. I never didn't finish. But anyway, so that torch helped me unlock a new path down. So Andy, you might remember when I sent you a video or a picture. There was like a load of candles in a room. When you light all
Yeah.
those candles, it makes a spiral, and basically what it does is takes me around to that chess place. So you never would have had that route ever from your
Yeah.
playthrough,
Yeah.
but it meant
Yeah.
that every day when I started my run, I could go straight down there, cross the reservoir, open the door, come back, open the outdoor shed, whatever it's called, find that room, start at the main
Yeah.
entrance hall, and waste about 17 steps,
That is
Yeah.
mental. Yeah. Because
which
like each
sounds a
day.
lot, but I started with
That,
70, so I had 53 or whatever to finish the game. All I had to do at this point was
yeah.
get to the
But
antechamber.
for me at that point, when I was doing what I needed to do and then going back into the main entrance, I'd use like 4 steps.
Because you had the
Because obviously,
foundation.
yeah, and because like all the pictures you were sending me, I was thinking like, how are you getting to that point with like barely any steps left? So I was thinking I had loads. Like
Yeah.
once I got that upgrade to 70, like I had loads of steps left, like every one. So I was thinking like, how are you getting to that point and then you got 5 steps left or 9 steps? I was like thinking, fuck knows what you're doing. But obviously, you played the game differently to me.
Yeah, and what was fucking me off mostly, Stephen, is that this game hated me at one point. Like from days, I think I finished it on day 32 or 33. Days 24 to 31, this game just was like, nah, fuck you. You're not finishing this game yet. You think you've got your eggs
Yeah,
lined
yeah.
up? No, you haven't. Well, I did. I
Yeah.
definitely had my eggs lined up. So every day I'd do that run down to the bottom, open the door, come back up, get to the starting point and be like, okay, all I have to do now is get to that last room and I've won. I've done the game. And this game decided to give me the shittest routes possible. It just would. I would not. I wasn't even getting close to getting there.
Yeah.
And it got to day 30, and I was texting Andy saying, "Look, I'm so close to quitting. Like this game, it just hates me." Andy was like, "I don't understand how you're not getting there." And I'm like, "Look at my rooms. Like it's not giving me the option to get there." And then the run before I completed it, I got so close. I think I texted you this, Andy. I was like 2 squares away.
Yeah. And you
And
had them open.
you know, it's one of those moments where I was like, I've done it, I've done it, I've done it. And I got there and I was like, and then I
Oh,
ran out of keys was the problem. So I had to
Yeah.
pray that the next 2 doors, and as you get further through the building, the more chance you need a key. I just had
yeah.
to pray I didn't need a key because I had exhausted every possible key in the building and the door was locked. I was like, you motherfuckers. And at that point, I was like, that's it. But then I was like, you know what? One more. I was close. Let's do one more. And this run was like heaven. Like everything just went my way. Um, and I unlocked something else called the tunnel, which Andy didn't get. Um, and the tunnel, Andy, I don't know if you remember. There's like when you go outside, there's like this underground tunnel bit, which is like pitch black and you can't see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
There's 2 torches in there, and when you
Oh,
light
okay.
them, it
So you
reveals
made
the
the plan.
tunnel floor plan.
Yeah.
That was what saved me in the end. It gave me so many keys and stuff, and then everything just worked my way. And it worked so well that I had 2 open doors, and I had 2 different
Yeah.
ways in. Got in, finished the game, closed it. I'm never playing that game again. Not because I don't like it, because it frustrated the shit out of me in that last. I don't know.
Yeah.
I ended up playing about 20 hours as well as you, Andy. So it's weird that we're very similar time.
Yeah. Because there was one point where I thought you was going to complete this game like
So quick.
on like day 15 or
Yeah.
something, and then I said to you, I completed on day 30 something.
Mm.
And I know obviously at first I was sort of giving you hints to things that I didn't figure out until like day 15. Where you was getting them on like day 1 to 3, you was getting puzzles solved already.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I thought, especially when you was down in the basement, I was like, I don't get why you can't see the lever. Like you're in the same bit that I was in. You should just be able to pull a lever because you went down the fountain route. It was
Yes.
a different puzzle
Completely
that you
different
had to
side.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even get that. So I was trying to give you these hints, but because you've gone down different routes and different puzzles, I was
So
like,
you
okay, my hints aren't really helping.
didn't even use the reservoir.
No,
Wow.
so I went through the foundation. So that's how I got into the basement. And then I'd done the statue puzzle, which opens up the door. And then I just got onto a bit where, so I had to go around and move the mine cart through the tomb, which moved that out of the way, and then I had access to that side door.
Yeah,
So I had access
which
to
you
the
need to
side
have.
door
Yeah. Yeah.
and to the bit where I can pull the lever to rotate it around and
Yeah.
then go through. And so it sounds like that way was a lot easier than the route that you went down. But
Mine
yeah,
needed a
I
lot
don't know.
of different things to go right, and
Yeah,
probably why it took me so long. But yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, I did enjoy this a lot. It was tainted by, I think sometimes I know these games are meant to have that random element,
yeah,
but there's a tool you get called the compass, which means most rooms will go north, and I don't
yes.
feel like that worked, and it just seemed to just not work for me.
I
Although
don't
it
think
definitely
I
worked at
got the
the end.
compass that often. I think I only got that like once or twice.
I had it a few times, and I had it on one of those runs where I was like, and it gave me like a load of dead ends. I was like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I
Um,
made like the main priorities for my items, the spade and the sledgehammer. Like those were the two main
yeah, I
things that
didn't
I
get the
went for.
sledgehammer that often. The shovel all the time, yeah.
And yeah, and then I think but that's like things like the sledgehammer and the shovel, like they're hidden in plain sight sometimes. So at
Hmm.
first, they'd be in places I just walked past and they just looked like part of the
Yeah,
furniture setup. And then once I realised the places that they can be in, I was like, okay, I know to always check there now because it could potentially show up.
yeah.
So once I knew those spots, it did make it a lot easier to attain items. And then I thought the other important thing to have was the dice as well, making sure you had like a few of those towards the
So
end part of
important.
the
So
route.
important. So
Yeah,
on my last run, before I got to a room where I was like, okay, I've got multiple options here now to get to those two rooms. I was like, I'm not doing shit until I've got some dice on me
yeah,
because I need that potential extra chance.
yeah. Insurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just trying to see what I want to give this a rating. Obviously, um, I don't want to give things away to where it's going to be in Game of the Year, but I know where it's in my Game of the Year. I'm going to give this I'm not. It's not a cop out because I know you gave it an 8.5, Andy, but I'm giving it an 8.5.
yeah. I think it's fair
This
rating, and the fact
game,
that we both have different
Wow.
experiences with it,
That's
yeah,
that's a lot
I feel
higher than
like
what I
you
thought you were
could.
going with, Welchy.
I
I
know
was going
you
with a
probably won't play
9.
this game
At
too
one
long.
point in this game, I
Yeah,
was like, "This is amazing! Like,
yeah.
so
I feel like if
clever."
you completed it when you messaged me saying, "Oh, you're so close," and if you completed it within sort
Yeah,
of the next couple of runs, I feel like you potentially would have gone for a 9.
there's just frustrations with it, and I know these games are inherently meant to be like this, but the randomness felt a bit too random to me. It just I can't explain it because I know that's the whole point, but there was a lot of bullshit for me to the point
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
games like, I don't know, Hades, for example, is a game where you can constantly do new runs and you get different things on your runs.
yeah,
You might not get everything you want, but you can do everything that, if that makes sense, you can win every run if you were really good at the game. This
Yeah.
felt like I
yeah.
genuinely can't, and that felt like a bit of a piss take, even when I had my ducks
Yeah,
lined up. Um,
I get what you mean because I feel like, especially at the start of the game, that was more evident to me in terms of you might have more locked doors or more doors that, like, I think, oh yes, I choose a room, I've got a door going that way, and then all of a sudden it's a door that requires a key card. But
yes,
I feel like the early stages for me were more like that, whereas the end stages were more like that for you.
yeah,
But
I
by
had it at
that
the
point,
beginning
I'd
as
figured
well.
out what I needed.
The beginning of the
Yeah,
game, I was like, I don't. This game needs to
yeah,
get good, and then the end game, I was like, this game needs to fucking stop.
yeah,
But no, great game. I would recommend it. I I will also say it's not for everyone. It just naturally isn't. Um, but it is a
Yeah. I
great
mean,
game.
when the way that you've been describing it, I'm not sold. I know obviously Andy, you've loved the game and you said that
Well, we've both given it the
it's,
same rating of 8.5, which is quite
which
high.
I'm
So
stunned really. Yeah, that the fact of how
it's
frustrated you found
but
it.
it's part of the game. Like
Yeah.
I will say, you have to play it to really know whether you're going to like it or not. I don't think you can go off someone's opinion on whether you're going to like it or not. Like I know it's puzzle based, but the puzzles aren't really that difficult. I don't think, Welchy. Like
No,
you can
but
you can get the answers for all the puzzles within the building
Yeah.
if you either one look, or two, some of them they're straightforward anyway, so you'll figure out how to do it. But the fact that me and Welch have both played it, both given it high scores, and we've both gone down different routes in this game, just shows how much like variety there is in terms of like how you can play this game. Like for example, I didn't even have the greenhouse Welch at any point, where
I never unlocked
that
it.
was the I don't know which door it unlocked now, but
South, Andy, because you kept telling me the fucking
yeah.
wrong one.
Oh, I got a bit confused. Okay. So it might be that you play it, Stephen, and then all of a sudden you're talking about it and you're saying, "Oh, you've done it this way," and thinking, "I never came across that like you did with you got the chessboard Welch." Like I didn't. I knew you could light up 4 lights because I lit up 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, "Oh, I wonder if I'm going to have to light up the 4th one to be able to finish this game." Obviously, that wasn't the case. So I was like, "Okay, there's obviously additional puzzles." And then obviously when you get to that part where you pull the lever to open door 46, room 46, you have those 7 doors there. So did you look at that and think, I hope there's not loads more shit to do
I thought I needed
before
7 more
complete it?
keys. That's kind of like, I haven't got any fucking keys,
Yeah.
but there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at an hour now, so we're running out of time. Stephen, I know you want to talk about Battlefield 6. Do you want to do that quickly now, or do you want to do that for next week?
Well, I'm on the very last mission, so next week I'll come to it with a full review and my scores. So I'll hold fire and just do it all in one. All I will say is it's a lot better than Call of Duty Black Ops 6. A hell of a lot better.
7.
You mean 7? Yeah.
7. Yeah, sorry, power brain. Yeah,
Yeah.
Call of Duty is much better than Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and it's as similar to sort of Split Fiction. Every mission is surprising me, and it's getting better and better. So yeah, I'm at the very end. I've got 1 mission left, so I'll review it in full next week.
Cool. Anything else anyone wants to talk about quickly, like for literally minutes? I think I've played as Pokemon, but I'm not that close to beating it yet.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I'm playing is Pokemon Pocket, but
I mean,
not the game you're playing, won't you? But
the only thing for me would be on Fortnite, which because obviously they've got Kill Bill, so I'm doing all the Kill Bill stuff in preparation for Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, which I'll be reviewing on the Late Night Movie podcast. So that's the only other thing that I've been playing and dabbling a bit in the AFC, but it's primarily been Split Fiction Battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm basically EA's bitch at this moment, I've realised. Because on Saturday, I played EFC 26, Battlefield 6, and then on Split Fiction in the evening. So literally, like, EA have got me by their balls at the moment, and that's all that they've got.
Cool. Right. That is going to do it for tonight's episode of the Late Night Gamer podcast. What did you think of, or if you've got to play it, what do you think of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, or anything else we discussed? Split Fiction, obviously, and Blueprints, Dispatch, anything that we've been discussing. Let us know what you think on our socials at the Late Night Pods. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can also join our Discord using the link in the description to be able to get your messages in before we record our podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you're listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Speaking of which, next time we will be reacting to the winners and announcements from the Game Awards. So you will not want to miss that one. I think the Game Awards are Thursday night. Our episode will go up the Tuesday following. Thank you for hanging out with us till late tonight. I've been your host, Welchy, joined as always by Andy.
Gaming Quiz Champion of 2025. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. I was so excited to hear your Blueprint thoughts in the lead up to this. So I'm glad you gave it an 8.5. But yeah, thank you very much, guys.
And Stephen.
Yeah, been a pleasure as always, and looking forward to finding out who gets the Game Awards title, which we'll discuss this week.
Thanks again for listening, and keep on gaming.